So you talked about expectations.
Yes.
And how that changes everything. Well, that's why we're in the midst of two of the great seasons for a fan in New York football. The ones where you have absolutely no expectations at all, and then your team ends up winning in the way that these teams are winning, both 4 seeds in their respective conferences, and now you don't have to have any, disappointment at the end of the season because whatever you get from here on out, to me, is gravy. Now, the expectations change with the Mets because they got really, really good. I can't at 101 wins, and you're like, they got to go to the World Series. But I don't know if the expectations for the Jets and the Giants are going to change with how they play, because this season for both of these teams was just supposed to be a step in the right direction. Step in the right direction. And if both of them make the playoffs and they end up losing in the playoffs in the first round, big deal. What a great season that you just had.
Well, all I know is that I would think that much like the hockey fans over the last 3 years, where one of the two teams was in the Eastern Conference Finals, unexpectedly, I might add, I would also say that, if you're the Jets and the Giants and you're on this trajectory, what has been proven is that you just never know when you're going to get back there. So that's why you don't want to take anything for granted. And that's why you don't want guys like Xavier McKinney doing stupid things during their bye week and getting hurt and costing your team.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, whether it's an accident or not, you're on a ATV. You shouldn't be on an ATV. And I know you're a kid. I know you're indestructible. I know, look, I was right there myself. But it's really unfortunate for the Giants. But I look, man, when these fans, you know this, I know this, when they get to the playoffs, they're going to expect a win.
Yeah, I mean, if they get to 8-2, which there's a real possibility of that with the Texans and the Lions at home, and take on the Cowboys.
Can they get to 7-2 first?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if they get to 8-2 and then head into this Thanksgiving game against the Cowboys,
right?
I mean, at that point, you're looking around the conference and saying, why not? Now, the problem is that you do have a team in your division I don't think anybody believes that the Giants are better than, and that is the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. And that's the tough part about it.
What about the Cowboys?
Well, the Cowboys beat them the first time. We're going to see in this second matchup. And I know they beat them at MetLife. We're going to see in the second matchup. But right now, to me, the Giants and the Cowboys are right on the same par. Maybe I give the Cowboys a slight advantage, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you. I mean, the Giants are beating some teams here, too. We just talked about how they beat the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens are surging now. That might be one of the best teams in the AFC when it's all said and done. The Giants beat that team. And they've got a path where you look at somebody 2 games left against the Commanders, who you like better than I do, the Lions and the Cowboys, the Colts, who have got an analyst coaching them. I mean, Dan Orlovsky might join them on Jeff Saturday on the staff. They're just going to take everybody from NFL Countdown and put them on the Colts staff. Yes. I mean, that's a game at home. That's a win. I mean, come on. So, I mean, on one hand, yes, I say take advantage of these opportunities. You don't know when you're going to get back there, whatever else, but I mean, if you make it to the playoffs, you play well in the playoffs. I mean, if a better team ends up beating you in there, it's not going to be like what we're talking about with the Yankees. You know what I'm saying?
No, I understand. The Yankees, and Jordan Montgomery, I really said it perfectly when he said the pinstripes are heavy.
Yeah.
And maybe he just didn't do well under that sort of pressure. And that also makes you wonder about, I know Aaron Judge loves it here. His wife ran in the New York City Marathon. He was out there supporting her and everything. And I know that he's beloved, regardless of the booing towards the end of the, towards the end of the ALCS and all that other stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, he's still a revered, big-time, prime-time professional athlete here in New York. And there's something to be said about that. And that's a good life. That's a great life, actually. Mm-hmm. And the fact that his wife ran the New York City Marathon, he's out there supporting her and everything. He may just love it here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just think that for a guy like Aaron Judge, man, I'll tell you what, somebody's going to come big after him. That's going to be the big number in this offseason. And I think it's going to take our breath away. I really do.
Yeah, well, and we'll see how long he takes this. For me, I think he's going to go out there and he's going to explore this. He's take this opportunity to meet with so many other teams and figure that out. But yeah, that's going to be very, very interesting to see where those numbers end up. But I wanted to go back and read you a couple of these McKinney quotes from yesterday because we were talking about him.
All right.
So he said, "Thank God it wasn't anything worse. There wasn't anything reckless going on. It was a freak accident." Are we buying it?
I'm not
buying freak accidents.
I'd like to ask, Xavier, did you do any wheelies? Like
Yeah,
your
no,
buddy?
he said that he wasn't doing anything reckless.
All right.
He said nothing reckless. And he goes, I know what I put into this game. I know how much we have collectively put into what we've done to build where we're at now. I've been on a mental roller coaster. So he's showing remorse about it.
Yes,
whatever.
he is, which is good. That's a good thing.
And a lot of callers called up yesterday asking us about the contract. Can they void it and lose money and everything? So the Giants standard issued contracts prohibits players from riding ATVs.
Yeah.
So if they wanted to.
Now the question is, I mean,
will Dable and Shane actually go after his money? I mean, it's an interesting one.
It's in the contract, and the players, I don't know. I hate when stuff like this happens because the team and the coaching staff did nothing. They did nothing. But the contract says, you're out there, you're doing your thing, you're on one of these ATVs. If you want to go by the letter of the law, you don't pay the guy. You don't pay the guy, and you got to hold him accountable somehow.
Yeah, I would think so. It says, I didn't fall off, McKinney said. It fell on my hand or my fingers. The vehicle didn't flip over. He's saying that the ATV fell on his hand?
All right, so it didn't flip over, but it only fell on one side. I mean, I don't know. Sounds like, he was probably making a pretty fast turn, and maybe the thing slid out from underneath him. I don't know.
Yeah. And then he was asked about if losing salary would upset him, and he said he wouldn't be upset with it. So
good. He shouldn't be upset with it. I mean, it's his fault.
Yeah. Well, it's his fault for getting on the ATV.
Yes, it's his fault.
That right there is indisputable.
I don't know why people can't just understand that.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he does, which is good.
I mean, there is, if there was a freak accident, that's really, really bad luck. And I don't want to trash the guy completely for saying, he's doing wheelies, doing all this stuff when he wasn't. But the bottom line is, going back on it, you shouldn't be on the ATV. Just like you shouldn't be doing any of that. You shouldn't be skydiving.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be parasailing. You shouldn't be doing any of that stuff.
Right.
Just rest on your bye week. Maybe play around the golf.
Where are you and I from?
The South Shore, Long Island.
What does that mean?
That means that we like to bust balls.
But we
got
don't
a lot of blue-collar friends.
Yeah, we don't kind of get, you can't pull the wool over our eyes.
Oh, sure, there's that too.
We've been
Keep
around.
it real.
It's called street smarts.
That's right, exactly.
Right,
100%.
We kind of get what's going on. We know what's happening. Mm-hmm. And you're going to tell me that Xavier McKinney was in Cabo on an ATV.
Yeah.
And he was, going 10 miles an hour looking at the sights? I mean, come on. What are we talking about
Especially when his friend and teammate posted a picture on Instagram of him up in the air going, Val, Val! Popping a wheelie.
That's exactly right. I mean, look, we all know it. We all were kids. We all had those moments, and I'm sure he just had one of his.
I had a go-kart when I was a kid.
I had a Rupp Roadster.
Oh, did you?
Mini bike.
Yeah. I never really had an accident in that go-kart. I mean, I used to go into the high school and elementary school parking lots and whip around when nobody was in there.
Yeah. I was at Heckscher Park with my mini bike, and then the state police would be, trying to get us. And then we'd get out on the street, and then Suffolk County 308. 308, I think it was the number.
308?
308 would try to get us.
Oh, man.
And, we'd bury ourselves into Heckscher Park and get out of there.
Man, the 3rd Precinct, they love us down. They follow us on Instagram.
Oh, they do?
Probably because they're still trying to follow you and make sure you do it every
308's coming. 308's coming. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, so, but I kind of get, like I said yesterday, I got to get, what these young kids, they get to blow off some steam, get away from football, go have some fun. I'm all for that. I mean, they need to get down, get away because the stress, the anxiety, all the heated rhetoric and the games themselves and the injuries and all that other stuff. Get away for a week. I'm down with that. That's good. But you got to be smart. You just got to be smarter, and you can't put yourself in a situation like this.
Yeah, and I think even especially with a 17-game season, it's even more important for these guys to get away with that extra game and the preseason. The season's long. You're getting beat down every week. It's like you want to be able to do that, but it's just different. It's hard to put my mind in the young, early 20s NFL player.
Money.
With all of that money.
Yeah.
I think of me on a bye week, a 40-year-old dad on a bye week. If I had that type of cash, I'd go down to a warm climate. I'd be getting massages. I'd be sitting on the beach.
Yeah.
Getting served on the beach, a little Cuban sandwich and a pina colada. That's what I'd be doing. But that's who I am now. Like back then, these guys got a lot of energy. You know, they're younger.
Well,
they want to do exciting things.
The great thing about the Giant defense is that, you know, you got Wink Martindale just firing everybody up.
Yeah.
He's got the Rex Ryan gene in him. You know, he's got this group of guys that, you know, are doing things that, you know, nobody thought were possible, that they weren't going to be good enough. And he is like unleashing the hounds to go. And he gets them so wound up before the game that, you know, that's why sometimes, you know, after games, it's hard to get these guys to wind down, especially if they lose. They may say something wrong, or they may go out and party or something, whatever. But that's why the bye week is important. It's a mental break from all of that.
Yeah.
Because now when they come back, they got to recharge themselves. They got to kind of restart themselves. And you just hope that they don't come off this bye flat against a team that they should definitely manhandle in their own building.
Yeah, so the good news is that you do have these 2 games at home against teams that you're going to be favored against.
But, you know, you can't take anything for granted in this NFL.
Yeah, okay, but you're not losing Xavier McKinney, and you're going up against the Kansas City Chiefs the next week, and then the week after that, you're going up against, I don't know, Justin Herbert. Or something. You know, you're facing 2 teams. You're facing Davis Mills and Jared Goff. If I'm going to miss my star safety for 4 games at the minimum, I'd like 2 of those games to be against the Texans and the Lions.
Well, just so you know, Jared Goff and his team, I think they're the 4th-ranked offense in the NFL.
Yeah, because they're playing in garbage time. They're getting their ass kicked every week, and then the team's going to prevent defense, and he's throwing the ball all over the place.
Okay.
They stink. They stink.
They
scored only 15 points last week against the Packers, didn't they?
Right.
I mean, big deal. I mean, does that offense really scare you?
It's not totally scary, no, but.
I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown's a good player. DeAndre Swift, is he ever going to stay healthy? Jamal Williams. They just traded Hawkinson. He's not even there anymore.
Right.
I mean, this is not a team that's like, and the Houston Texans don't even try to sell me on the Texans being a good team.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to, but I just, you know, every year there's going to be like one of these wacky games where, like, you know, everybody that is in a knockout pool.
Yeah, of course.
Is probably taking the Giants this week.
If they're still in it. To me, every knockout pool should probably be over by now because of all the upsets. I'd be shocked if any of them are still running.
Well, all right. Well, this is one of those, you know, spots.
One of those knockout pool spots?
Why did you bring the helmet next to you?
Because of this, the mic, like, watch. When I.
Oh, I saw you using it as the holder. Okay.
Yeah. Because I can't. It's either I hold it up the entire time, or I have something to prop up the microphone.
So when Marty was in here and he was WD-40ing these microphone arms, didn't he notice that microphone wasn't staying up?
It's a good question.
Can you tighten it?
Trust me, I tried to tighten it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: the WD-40 actually made it worse.
Yeah.
It may have stopped the squeaking, but it won't even hold. There's no bite left on it, and they have to order new ones.
So that they have to order new ones?
New mic arms, yeah.
Because of the WD-40?
No, well, because they're just shot.
Yeah. Well, clearly they are. This is what we needed, though. We needed new mic arms.
Need a little freshening up around here.
I mean, so we got to it in sort of a weird way, in a weird path.
Right.
But we needed new mic arms.
Right. Stephen Waldron, you there?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, good morning, Stephen. I'm thinking about Christmas decorations. How are we doing on that this year?
Do you want us to do them again?
Do you want us to do them again?
You know, honestly, I wasn't overly happy with what you guys did last year.
I thought you were handling it this year, sir.
Oh, am I handling it? Did I say I was handling it?
You did.
Steven, you got the credit card? You got the company credit card?
I can for decorations. Yeah.
All right, good. Nice.
Oh, really?
You just text me the numbers, the expiration date, and the security code, all right?
Okay.
They have at least $25K on that card, Steven?
No, we have a limit. $100.
Right.
Yeah, well.
Boomer's going to order an actual wise man. So make sure he's going to have someone standing in the corner holding the myrrh.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.